Cowboys Nation, this isn't just another game on the schedule. This is a prove-it game. For years, the Dallas Cowboys played down to weaker opponents and played up to stronger competition. But games like this versus the New York Jets are very dangerous because in the past, the Cowboys let them slip away. This Jets team is young, dangerous, and have nothing to lose. So the question is simple. Can the Dallas Cowboys finally handle business and show that they're built different? Let's break it down. Of course, we start every game by breaking down the team's history and respecting our opponent. The Jets are a team that is starving for a playoff run because they haven't had a deep one since the 2010s, but occasionally they'll have wild card appearances. Historically, they are the epitome of inconsistency, but they're trying to build upward towards something greater. Since 2014, with the rare matchups versus the Cowboys usually have the advantage, but this is a stat we should pay attention to, that the Jets traditionally have struggled at AT&T Stadium, but this game is being held at home with the Jets. Head coach Aaron Glenn, the newly hired head coach as of this year, is the 22nd head coach in their franchise, and I'm telling you, this guy we should be familiar with because he's the previous defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, and he's a former Pro Bowl caliber corner that played with the New York Jets. Of course, with him being a defensive player, he's bringing a defense first culture, okay? That means he's way more aggressive, demands more structure, demands more discipline, demands physicality at the point of attack, and we should know that the team will take on the makeup, the physical, the mentality of the coach that they're being coached by. Aaron Glenn is coming in and aiming directly for the franchise's roots and trying to rebuild this Jets team around toughness, accountability, and trying to give them some sense of direction. Some will saying he's borrowing from the great Bill Parcells legacy with setting high standards, okay, and having everyone buy in this roster no matter where they are on the depth chart. With that being said, let's take a look on the overarching coaches of the New York Jets. Of course, we just went over Aaron Glenn. His scheme and the why behind his scheme is oppressed man coverage, physicality, because that's what he played like. If you go back and look how he played when he played in the NFL. Of course, him being a head coaching role, he has way more say-so in how the game is going. So all of his in-game decisions so far has been very aggressiveness, like fourth down aggressiveness. So he wants to build his identity, and I'll tell you right now, I believe he got this from his former boss and head coach of the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell, because he had this exact same mentality. What the Cowboys can do to take aggressive of this mindset is use their aggressiveness, because their aggressiveness in the past has backfired. Use motion and double moves and situation calls confusion with his guys because they want to play fast and play aggressive, but you can do that by having a lot of eye candy. Of course, who he brought with him as his offensive coordinator, Tanner Engstrand, the former tight ends coach from the Detroit Lions and passing game coordinator also under Ben Johnson. So we know that Ben Johnson tree of what they try to do. They try to simplify the reads of the quarterback, make it very, very simple, but everywhere else very complicated to create these open looks. But he's dealing with, and we're going to talk about in a personnel, a very kind of, I would say, limited quarterback. So we're going to see very much so simplified, bare bones type, and just to manipulate and get whatever they can. He emphasizes spread principles. If anyone doesn't know that, that means we're trying to spread the defense out thin and play the numbers game and whether we have the advantage, getting all the hitting yardage we can. So on the perimeter, making your corners tackle, making your safeties cover, making your linebackers, if they say they can truly go sideline to sideline, best believe they're going to be touching every sideline. Heavy running back and tight end involvement. Of course, with him being a former tight end coach, he understands that this is where the mid-skill positions where you marry in the passing game with the run game. But along with that, he has a lot, and I do mean a lot, of RPOs and things to make it very easier. I said the quarterback he has in Justin Fields, bootlegs, quick game rhythm. The whole point is to make sure Justin Fields is comfortable, and we know he's a run first quarterback. He is not a dual threat. He is a run first quarterback. So half reads, you name it, whatever can get Justin Fields to be basically playing on pure instinct, he has it in his scheme. The Cowboys' main angle should be to focus on disrupting that comfortability of Justin Fields and disrupting the rhythm that him and Tanner are trying to form. Going to the defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks, a very, very familiar name. When you see that name, he's the former Panthers head coach back in 2018, and he was the 49ers DC in 2023. Known for his zone match principles and versatile front. Zone match deals with a lot of cover 4 because that's a zone match based coverage and too high. In his scheme, he focuses on the nickel base package or the 4-2-5. He emphasizes disguises and versatile DB play and pass rush from multiple alignments, wants turnovers and cause confusion. If you think of what Steve Wilks likes to do traditionally and marry that in with Aaron Glenn, I'm telling you right now, they're going to be wanting to play aggressive, want their guys to play fast, and want you to make the mistake, and they'll capitalize off of it. What Schottenheimer tries to do and is a direct polar opposite of Steve Wilks. And this is why we're going to have to, I think this week we're going to have to emphasize the run game. We're going to talk about the downhill run game, because anybody's in a nickel package, you got to attack them when they're going to their high shell and make them commit more numbers to the run so that we become more lethal with the play action. Because we don't necessarily have guys that can separate, but they are very much so dangerous if you leave them one-on-one. The match-based principles in Aaron Glenn's wanting to be aggressive, I'm pretty sure there is going to be a lot of times within the middle of their passing concepts, a lot of guys are going to be in a press man or some type of man coverage. So it's important that guys win their one-on-one battles. Moving into the offensive report, of course, at the top of the report, I just got it because of position, but we all know there's more. Justin Fields is a explosive dual threat. Really should correct that, because he's a run first quarterback. Okay, he's dangerous out of structure. That's the main emphasis right here. He's the polar opposite of what he's our kryptonite. We all know how we struggle with defending the dual threat quarterback, especially our linebackers, especially with Sanborn, because he does not thrive well in space. So it's going to be very interesting on Eberflus and the personnel he puts out there, because this is going to be very much so extremely important. I think we should pressure him, make him force him to one side, and create the half reads, because I think even though it's out of structure, if we force him to make a decision, I think that's how you disrupt Justin Fields. But I'm telling you right now, they're going to get him on the move, and they're going to have him be able to try to beat you with natural out of structure plays. The running back Breece Hall, he was a home run ability type player who thrives in space. He is the epitome of the scat backs. He is what I like to call takeoff backs or airplane backs. In order for him to be dangerous, the offensive line must block it up perfectly. But all he needed is a sliver. Okay, so we got to take this in mind. I think they're going to use him to attack our edges and our pass to be our direct kryptonite against our aggressive pass rush if we have that, because they like to get him with screens or swing passes, because him in space, I'm telling you, he's very dangerous in that. So we're going to have to do well to rally and turn him back north and south and have a great pursuit backside. Of course, the #1 receiver in Garrett Wilson. He's emerging as a true wide receiver 1, but he does a lot of his damage as an elite route runner, especially across the middle. Whenever they have any type of in structure plays, be on the lookout that we're gonna have to definitely keep a safety over top with him. He's a yak machine, so anytime he gets the ball, he's even more dangerous. We're gonna definitely have to press him, get physical with him, disrupt his rhythm and his route running, because I believe if we do that, Justin Fields will not be able to find him. Okay, so their tight end Jermaine Ruckert, a reliable safety valve, and he does well in the intermediate zones. And then on the offensive line, rookie Armand Mimbo, the rookie I scouted. I didn't like him at the top, but he was one of my top tackles for sure. He's still coming along well, but he's a rookie. I think overloading him with stunts and twists and just playing, he didn't do versus well when I watched him on film at Mizzou versus power. So we're going to definitely have to keep that in mind. Of course, the defensive scouting report. What can I say? Quinnen Williams, I think he's not as dominant this year, even though he's in the past he's very dominant versus the run and pass. But they're doing something different with him this year. They got him playing mostly 3-tech, which I think is giving it, he has to adjust to that, okay? But him at the one tech, if they ever do that, we're gonna have to definitely double team him and make sure and occupy him, because the other guy they have is Harrison Smith, that's the one tech. Sauce Gardner, who's a long rangy corner, definitely going to travel with our guys, long and physical. He's trying to take away the #1 receivers. I'm telling you right now, I know George Pickens had, you know, success versus him in the past, but this is something to take advantage of. I mean, this is something to keep an eye on, because he's the exact same size and has the exact same arm lift or even longer for George Pickens. So we will see how that play out. DN Jermaine Johnson, explosive edge. He's ascending to a Pro Bowl this year, okay? We got to make sure tackles to be on the lookout for him. The other one in Will McDonald, I think he has great bend, great situational disruptor, a great first step. Going to have to be on the lookout for that there. And then, you know, to cap it all off, I have Francisco Maya, the rookie linebacker, fast downhill, great versus the run. This is the Jets defense. It's not the normal defense of pass, but hey, they're still good nevertheless, and they're still coach hard as well. So for the keys to victory, of course, as always, play disciplined football, limit penalties, no self-inflicted wounds, win the trenches, neutralize Quinnen Williams, and protect Dak. Contain Justin Fields, because his legs is his best friend, and that's how he can beat you. Limit Breece Hall, because I feel like he's a sneaky X factor that we really need to pay attention to. All right, exploit their aggression. They're going to try to blitz you with corner blitzes and everything like that. We need to be ready to gash them, and what they're going to come in with this non-stop aggressive mindset. So we need to match that as well. All right, and stay balanced and establish a run game, because they're playing that light box and playing man on the outside. So this is very important. All in all, so I believe that the Dallas Cowboys offense should look to emphasize the run game this week, because they have a nickel-based defense and they're going to be very light in the box. We need to maintain our composure, because this is a team that is young and active, so they're going to prioritize being aggressive. They're going to throw everything at you: cornerback blitzes, free safety blitzes, and press you man to man, drop back into zone, but it's going to be match based. So it may look like zone from the snap, and then within the progression it'll turn into man. I trust my quarterback. I know Dak Prescott is going to absolutely torch whatever is out there, but from a perspective of improving within the route concepts from other receivers, I understand that they're going to be one-on-one and maybe separation is not their friend. The play action game is going to very much so be our best friend in this game. So if we stay composed in an execution philosophy, we should very much so gash them for when they're being overly aggressive. From our defensive perspective, I think they're going to attack us on the edges. They're going to attack our ability to function within space and create isolated matchups for us. We know they're going to have RPO base for their quarterback in Justin Fields. Breece Hall is best. He's a scat back, is best in space, so he's going to do a lot of screen swing passes, because they're going to try to create our matchups and attack the matchup that best fits them. In my opinion, is going to be Jack Sanborn. They also saw that our corners do struggle to tackle, and will they come up? Will our safeties be active? I know we got one yet back there, but this is very much so going to be a crucial matchup for our defense in space. That's been my time, Cowboy Nation. Make sure to like, subscribe the video, hype the video up. Until next time, peace.